What's going on, everybody? How's it going? So, today for my Conscious Advice channel, I want to talk about staying conscious and how important it is and how you can stay conscious. Now, some of you are wondering, what do I mean by staying conscious, right? Maybe some of you do understand what I mean. Staying conscious is when you don't have this internal mind chatter in your mind taking over of what to do next, of the whole, oh, I gotta do this now, I gotta do this now, I gotta pay this bill now, I gotta go here now, I gotta do this now. Staying conscious is important because of this fact. When you are conscious, you are more aware. Now the question is, when you are conscious or when you're unconscious, what are the factors for that? Factors are, you're busy with your life. You're busy with whatever life situation you have the current moment. You're busy with, taking the kids to school, going to work, paying bills, choices that we have made in order, to live, and depending on what kind of lifestyle you want and how much materialistic things you have, so on and so forth. The routine of life is pretty much the things that you have to do in everyday life. So when something drastic happens, like a death, or an accident, or whatever situation happens to you in your life, what happens at that moment? You become fully aware. When you go to a funeral home and you see, the body, your mind quiets, because at this time, at that moment, you're probably wondering, okay, that person's obviously, the body's here, but that person's not there. What happens to everything that person has done? Obviously that person has served a purpose, and whatever purpose he or she had to serve until they left the body. I hope you're still with me. Therefore, by you realizing that, you are conscious, and any situations or circumstances that have entered your life, or whatever drastic situation that has entered your life or has been part of your life, you always remember fully exactly what you were doing, exactly where you were, maybe even the smell or the environment, right? Why is that so? It's because at that moment of a drastic situation, an accident or a passing of a friend, family member, whoever it is, you're fully there. Now, what makes us unconscious? The routine of life, our schedules, the bills that we had to pay, the kids that we had to take to school, or other activities, or the jobs, everything that our routine of life. Once you get back into the routine of life, we tend to forget about the main thing of life, which is being conscious, because now we are back in this routine mode where it's almost like a zombie, I would say, and we become unconscious because of the routine of life. Until now, because of this whole COVID pandemic thing that's happening, everything has come to a halt, everything's come to a standstill. So if you look at it now, if not already, most of us are becoming conscious. Why? The routine of life has stopped. sending your kids to school, everyone's at home, maybe even working from home or not even working. The routine has stopped, which is why you are more aware, more conscious. Now, to stay conscious, to stay aware, we always have to break out of the routine. We have to know that, all these things are the materialistic stuff. We see everything behind me, everything, this house, this body even that I inhabit. It's all temporary and not with us forever. But we tend to forget about that when we get into the routine of life, this materialistic life, jobs, family, whatever situations. Now, with this whole pandemic that's happening, there's no routine for us, unless you create one or whatever it is. But the normal routine of life has stopped. Now, who goes to say that when everything gets back to normal, that you will remain conscious? Hopefully, this whole thing that's happening to all of us will wake us up and make us be conscious and make us be aware of the temporary materialistic stuff, or this temporariness of everything, this form, the form that I inhabit, the body that you inhabit, is all temporary. And we will remember that the main focus and the main importance is being in the moment and enjoying everything while it lasts. This pandemic has also made us realize the importance of people, and how also people lost their lives, and not to mention the frontline workers, everybody who's taking part, and in not including the nurses, including the sanitation crew, or people who take care of the garbage, and the people who work at grocery stores. How important everybody is. If you look back at the routine of life that we went before, everybody had a status. Everybody had something. Maybe some people looked down on people because of their job title or whatever it is. But now, looking at all the frontline workers, people who clean up the garbage, the garbage, or take out the trash, or take the who are working in restaurants, who are working in the hospitals. Everybody's getting respected now. Everyone is getting treated equally now. Because why? Because they are the ones who are helping us in this time. But what goes to show you here? We are all equal, and all the status in the world, whoever you are, wherever you are, doesn't matter. All the materialistic things that you possess, it doesn't really matter. So we got to remember that moving forward, whenever things go back to normal, we have to remain conscious. And this will always be a life lesson for everybody, this whole pandemic thing that has happened. And when we move forward, once things go back to normal, we have to just remember that everything is impermanent, and it's not permanent, and that we have to move forward with being respectful for one another and humanity, and treating everybody equally as we should have been doing a long time ago, and not to get lost in the routine of life if everything comes back to normal, and to stay awake. The whole thing of staying awake is to, or staying conscious, is to remember your impermanence. Henceforth, why everything is happening right now with all the whole pandemic, the whole COVID-19 situation. Because this is our drastic life reset. This is our wake up call. Just like when someone passes, just like an accident. This is what wakes us all up. So we have to do our part to be conscious enough to remember that once things go back to normal, we have to remember to be awake and remember to stay awake, which is staying conscious. So I hope you understand what I'm talking about here. Losing my voice. I gotta drink some water. If you have any questions, please do comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends if you feel like this has resonated with you. I know it's a lot to understand at the moment, but when whoever you are watching this right now, the whole current situation that's happening right now is just helping you wake up. And when it decides to stop, and when everything comes back to normal, I hope that the routine of life or whatever it is will not make you go back to sleep or unconscious. I hope you understand what I talked about today. I know it's a lot, but if you have any questions, please do comment below and I'll be happy to answer them. And until then, be safe wherever you are. Stay at home. And remember, this too shall pass. All right, guys? Take care.